Reagan's first successful entry into national politics was catapulted by the presidential debates against incumbent Jimmy Carter. There were many defining issues during the Carter administration and the 1980 election. The economy was strained at best. There were American hostages still in Iran after over a year. The military was thought to be weakening, and the office of the president had lost its influence and was losing respect. Ronald Reagan was a charismatic candidate who believed the American people should be served by the government, not the other way around. The question that he asked the American people during this debate was perhaps rhetorical, but it certainly influenced the election.
Yes, I would like to add my words of thanks to the ladies of the League of Women Voters for making these debates possible. I'm sorry that we couldn't persuade the bringing in of the third candidate so that he could have been seen also in these debates. But still, it's good that at least once all three of us were heard by the people of this country. Next Tuesday is Election Day. Next Tuesday, all of you will go to the polling place and make a decision. I think when you make that decision, it might be well if you ask yourself, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? I believe that there is a fundamental difference, and I think it has been evident in most of the answers that Mr. Carter has given tonight, that he seeks the solution to anything as another opportunity for a federal government program. I happen to believe the federal government has usurped powers of autonomy and authority that belong back to the state and local level. It has imposed on the individual freedoms of the people, and there are more of these things that could be solved by the people themselves, if they were given a chance, or by the levels of government that were closer to them. I know that we did give back authority and autonomy to the people. I would have liked to have a crusade today, and I would like to lead that crusade with your help. And it would be one to take government off the backs of the great people of this country and turn you loose again to do those things that I know you can do so well, because you did them and made this country great. Thank you.
During President Reagan's first inaugural address on January 20th, 1981, he again emphasized how he interpreted the role of the government and its place among the people.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. From time to time, we've been tempted to believe the society has become too complex to be managed by self-rule, that government by an elite group is superior to government for by and the people. Well, if no one among us is capable of governing himself, then who among us has the capacity to govern someone else? All of us together in and out of the government must bear the burden. The solutions we seek must be equitable, with no one group signaled out to pay a higher price. We hear much of the special interest groups. Well, our concern must be for a special interest group that has been too long neglected. It knows no sectional boundaries or ethnic and racial divisions, and it crosses political party lines. It is made up of men and women who raise our food, patrol our streets, man our mines and factories, teach our children, keep our homes, and heal us when we're sick. Professionals, industrialists, shoekeepers, shopkeepers, clerks, cabbies, and truck drivers. They are, in short, we the people, this breed called Americans.
I'll do that first, then we'll get the where's it going?
Whew. Now that I got the first and best, I'm not so nervous.
Not so bad, is it?
Are you going to have to do this other time?
This is the last assignment for this class.
Are you going to take this class again?
Not if I can help it. Not if I pass this one.
What if you don't pass it?
I'll take it again. I have to have this class.
How do you have that?
I'll just sit it on the... I'll stop at followed. Click. I'll switch the picture out with the space shuttle explode. Here it goes. When the Space Shuttle Challenger lifted off on the 28th of January, 1986, Christy McAuliffe was about to become the first teacher in space. Schoolchildren all over America were watching as history was about to be made, but no one expected the history that followed. 73 seconds after launch, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded in the skies above the Atlantic Ocean. President Reagan, a leader who had a unique ability to unite people in the face of crisis and conflict, addressed the nation.
There's a coincidence today. On this day, 390 years ago, the great explorer Sir Francis Drake died aboard the ship off the coast of Panama. In his lifetime, the great frontiers were the oceans, and a historian later said, he lived by the sea, died on it, and was buried in it. Well, today we can say that of the Challenger crew, their dedication was like Drake's, complete. The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger honored us by the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them. This morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye and slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God.
On June 12, 1987, President Reagan illustrated his desire for equality and justice as he stood before the Brandenburg Gate, imploring, demanding that Secretary General Gorbachev come down to the gate and allow freedom to flow from west to east across Europe. As he looked out and noticed the words spray painted on the wall that said, "This wall will fall, beliefs become reality." The words he spoke rang out and a fire was ignited. The flames of democracy would soon sweep across Europe and leave communism smoldering on the ash heaps of history.
We welcome change and openness, for we believe that freedom and security go together, that the advance of human liberty can only strengthen the cause of world peace. There is one sign the Soviets can make that would be unmistakable, that would advance dramatically the cause of freedom and peace. General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
When President Reagan gave his farewell address to the nation, he reminded Americans of their place in the world. Whatever failures he had as a leader, people were still willing to follow. History will regard him as a charismatic leader who believed in justice and equality for everyone.
I've spoken of the shining city all of my political life, but I don't know if I ever quite communicated what I saw when I said it. But in my mind, it was a tall, proud city built on rocks stronger than oceans, wind-swept, God-blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds, in harmony and peace, a city with free ports that homes with commerce and creativity. And if there had to be city walls, the walls had doors, and the doors were open to anyone with the will and the heart to get there. That's how I saw it and see it still. And how stands the city on this winter night, more prosperous, more secure and happier than it was 8 years ago. But more than that, after 200 years, 2 centuries, she still stands strong and true on the granite ridge, and her glow has held steady no matter what storm. And she's still a beacon, still a magnet for all who must have freedom, for all the pilgrims from all the lost places who are hurtling through the darkness toward home. President Ronald Reagan. Freedom prospers when religion is vibrant and the rule of law under God is acknowledged.
The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things.
Without God, democracy will not and cannot long endure.
I know in my heart that man is good, that what is right will always eventually triumph, and there's purpose and worth to each and every life.
We are never defeated unless we give up on God.
Hang on a second.
I know, I'm just gonna.
Let's record.
Oh.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. that must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Entrepreneurs and their small enterprises are responsible for almost all the economic growth in the United States.
In a world racked by hatred, economic crisis, and political tension, America remains mankind's best hope.
Well, one of the worst mistakes anybody can make is to bet against Americans. At the root of everything that we're trying to accomplish is the belief that America has a mission. We are a nation of freedom, living under God, believing all citizens must have the opportunity to grow, create wealth, and build a better life for those who follow. If we live up to those moral values, we can keep the American dream alive for our children and our grandchildren, and America will remain mankind's best hope.